The Rune Factory series has been going strong for 15 years. Its legacy undeniable. But I haven't really played one before this year. Yeah, I'm not gonna really talk about the history when I have no idea what I'm talking about. And I don't really want to pretend like I do. A couple months ago, I had an itch to travel outside my comfort zone, so I reached out to XSeed to cover Rune Factory 5 on Switch for the channel. I don't usually enjoy life or farm sims, but I'd heard great things about the series and figured this would be my best chance to finally take the plunge. Besides, I don't think criticism should be fan exclusive. That can be important for fans learning about new entries to their favorite series, but a newcomer's perspective is equally important for those currently on the fence. Unfortunately, despite thinking this game is very high quality and a ton of fun, I was left with not too much to say. Rune Factory 5 is neat. Good, even. Rune Factory 5 is a game where you can level up by taking a bath. Rune Factory 5 is Harvest Moon for people who have pent-up violent tendencies. Rune Factory 5 will push you into the deep end of the local RPG mechanic pool and expect you to already know how to swim. Rune Factory 5 is a game where you can put on some shoes that squeak whenever you move, and of course they carry over into cutscenes.
Scarlet?
Rune Factory 5 is exactly what it sets out to be. A good distraction. So here's an unfocused, brief attempt to explain my weird thoughts on a good game that just wasn't my thing. The premise is pretty standard. You play as an amnesiac who wakes up in a whimsical fantasy world, and the local government wastes no time in recruiting you to work for them, in a position that lets you help the citizens of Rigbarth. So you'll spend your time farming, cooking, building, and exploring to slowly but surely find a place where you belong in your new home. And you can get married. Gender be damned, follow your heart. I'll be real, none of the romance candidates really did much for me. They're fine. No one really jumped out to me as anything special though. Hello, Riker. Oh, you just outclass everybody. All right, that's fair. Please marry me, please. Rune Factory 5's story exists as a vehicle to get people in the door to embrace the fantasy, and the gameplay loop is an intrinsic part of that fantasy. The devs want you to be immersed in your day-to-day life in this world. The villagers are all charming people you'll probably want to get to know more and help with their problems. Except the stupid gem dude. I think his name's Heinz? With a Z? You suck, dude. I hope you know I headcanon that everyone in town hates your guts. Overall, cast good. I wish there was more voice acting. Budget concession or intentional nostalgic callback to 3DS RPGs. You decide. It was probably the former. On an atmospheric level, it's worth mentioning that the Hakama team hit it out of the park. Here's something about me. I'm a huge sucker for calendar systems. Especially when they implement weather. There's nothing I love more than a rainy day. So when a developer just gets it and recreates my ideal vibes perfectly, well, I can't help but give them props. The environments all look very pretty, and I had fun exploring them. You can even find, catch, and recruit little monster dudes to help you in battle while enjoying all the different views. But it is worth mentioning, I came in thinking I'd find a comfy vibe game, and it can be, but not always. This is a game for people looking for a second job instead of a vacation, which is cool and all, but not exactly what I was looking for. This is one of those life sims where progression throughout each day happens in real time. I'm the anxious type, you know, so even though you aren't operating with strict deadlines in place, it was hard for me to not stress out each day. You'll naturally end up developing a routine, which is practically unavoidable given that the farming system is one of, if not the best way to make money in the game. which this is the best time to point out I could be wrong about a lot of this. I didn't do any research, I just wanted to go in blind. If you're a fan of this series and you think I played the game wrong, that's okay, I'm sorry. I'll give them credit though. All the mechanics play together really well, even if, by themselves, they're just really serviceable. Rune Factory apparently died for a while after 4's release, and that was a 3DS top-down RPG. So 5 seems like a pretty big leap in terms of the developer's ambition for the series. Because of that, I can forgive some of the awkward or just okay implementation of the mechanics. They're not necessarily bad, they just don't leave a great first impression. For example, the battle mechanics seem painfully restrictive at first, but this is one of those games where the more you use a certain type of weapon, the more your mastery of that type of weapon increases, which will in turn increase what you can do with it. All of these new combos and special attacks and what have you will be trickled out to you over time. Just slowly. And honestly, a bit too slowly for my liking. It's kind of impressive how it manages to be both overwhelming yet a slow burn at the same time. There were some things, though, that never really clicked into place. Like, literally, placing furniture feels weird. My strat? Throw everything you need right into your backyard. You see this? They're just jealous this is all it takes for us to be happy. Now, I think I know what the smoking gun was of why this game just didn't click with me. It's the farming. I tried. I couldn't get into it. It's always been the biggest hump for me when trying to get into a game like this. And it's often why I never do. Filtered by growing potatoes, I'd never survive on the prairie. Now, I'm not really one of those people who believe in objective critique being a real thing, but the closest one I do have after all my time with Rune Factory 5 that seriously hampered my enjoyment is the performance. It runs and looks awful on Switch. Seriously, it's one of the worst optimized games I've played on the system. And hey, I've played... Hey, it's me. So my editor included that line at the end there. He just wrote a big blank. Trying to come up with a Switch game that runs bad is like trying to find a hay in a haystack. Let's just go with Blair Witch. Did you guys know they ported Blair Witch to Switch? As I mentioned earlier, I believe one of the most important goals for a game like this is to sell you on the fantasy. When the frame rate chugs and rarely hits above 20 FPS, that hurts your immersion quite a bit. Every time I shifted into vibe mode, the performance got in the way. Enjoying the combat? Now it's a slideshow. Wanted to take in the sights? Hope you like low resolution. When I first started playing Rune Factory 5, the Switch was the only platform it was available on, so I put up with it. I mean, I'm an avid Switch player in 2022. You learn to do that. But after doing the typical Cullen thing of ruminating on a game way too long and missing my planned deadline by quite a lot, a PC port was announced that blows the Switch out of the water. Everyone, I'll take the L on this one, and probably won't bother with Rune Factory 6 on Switch unless it's actually stable. So yeah, despite it all, I'm still interested in giving other games in this series a shot. And the rest of the genre too. Perhaps I might find the perfect farming sim for me. I hope so, at least. The recently announced Rune Factory 3 remake looks quite interesting, and Harvestella looks super up my alley as someone who grew up being a dirty little Square Enix tween. After playing this, I totally get why people love Rune Factory so much. I just wish my dopamine receptors allowed the pieces to click into place. Bottom line, title of the video, game neat, just don't play it on Switch. In general, just don't play multi-plat games on Switch. Ah, who am I kidding? I never learned my lesson, and I probably never will. Hey everyone, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Big thanks again to XSeed for sending me a copy of the game, Supreme Zerker for helping me edit the script, and last but certainly not least, the amazing Shibuya Gato for handling video editing on this one. As always, if you did not know, this channel is supported via Patreon. If you'd like to support the channel and get 3-day early access on all videos, check out the link in the description to find out how. This month's Metal Royal Slimes are Alex Austin, Autumn Jennings, Courtney Littleton, and Noravan, again, Furions, Nipples, Happy Emmons, Hornkerling, Frozen Ace, Jeremy DeForest, Looping Pyre, Moon Watcher, Renteka Bond, Revan, Snigs, Wayne is Boss, and your friend Chuck. Once again, thank you for watching. I have one smaller video I'm working on right now, and then we're gonna come back to Chrono Cross and then Jack 2. Have an excellent rest of your day, and stay safe out there.